Okay, hello, my name is John Maul. I'm a musician, composer, arranger, been doing it for quite a while now. I've got some students who are interested in learning a little bit about orchestration and just wanting to get into it. So I was trying to find an easy way for them to start experimenting and learning about orchestration without it being too pedantic and having to read all the books, etc. I found a piece of music that I did a couple of years ago, just a little piano piece, aimed for Christmas time, and the idea with this piece was simply just to be entertaining, but I thought, let's try and orchestrate it. Now, let's just play the piano part itself so you can hear it. I shall play it now. I won't play the whole thing, it's just to give you an idea. So as you can see, all aboard the Reindeer Express, trying to conjure up the image of Santa Claus and all his reindeer. So, a very simple piano idea. What could we do in terms of orchestrating it? So let's go over to the notation program. Now, I use Sibelius. I've used it a long time. It's an excellent notation program. There are other ones, of course. Finale, there's Dorico, the newer program that's come out. These are all great programs. But in addition to that, I've been using Note Performer. Now, this is a kind of sound source plugin, and it's very, very reasonably priced, and it's very, very clever indeed. And really, I use it because the sound quality of the playback is considerably better than you're normally used to. So just have a quick listen to the same clip, but now orchestrated. Okay, so we can stop there. I think you can get the idea. Now, what I really wanted to show was just an approach to starting to get into orchestration. This is not meant to be a tutorial on Sibelius or a detailed explanation of Note Performer. It's simply to give some ideas. How I like to start is firstly to have the piano part there as a reference, and you can see it here, although it's actually muted, so you won't hear it, but it's there for my reference all the time. And when I'm doing something like this, of course, unless I've been commissioned by a specific orchestra, what I do is I take it a step at a time and just build the orchestral part as I'm going, adding instruments. So I always knew I was going to have a full complement of strings. I could hear that opening tune was going to sound great with clarinet, so I added clarinet. As for the marimba and celesta, I had no idea I was going to use those until we got more into it. So the idea was to look and listen to certain melodies in the original piano piece and make a decision how they would work with various instruments. Note Performer is really clever in this case because if I just highlight this section, and this is the clarinet line, you can just hear this on its own. And you can hear how dynamically and also from the point of view of articulations, everything is there, but all I've done is just select the clarinet sound. So it's very clever. It looks ahead at all the phrasing and then gives you a reasonably authentic playback example of what it should sound like with a live player. Of course, nothing's going to beat the original thing, but at least it's a good way to get a good audio representation. I'll copy that and let's just copy it over to flute. And we could even listen and hear what the flute would sound like. So instantly, yeah, we need to put it up an octave. Let's try that and see. So you can see how quickly and easy it is to try out these things. I can even add it to the oboe section. And why don't we listen to all three playing? So for me, this approach really does make it easier for students starting to explore orchestration. Being able to hear and monitor the impact of your changes is so valuable, especially this way of isolating parts and being able to hear what they're doing. If we go on a little bit further, you can hear another section. So let's just go into a part where it gets a bit busy. I think round about here. Let's just get the timeline to play from here so you can hear what it's going to sound like. And again, what I needed to do in this case was really look clearly at the wind section and just make sure they're working correctly together. So I think this is a great way to practice, and you can just copy parts from the original piano part and copy them over to the various instruments. Now, of course, it doesn't always work that simply. So, for example, the piano part here and the string parts here, I've had to adapt and make them more idiomatic to the instrument. And so forth. So this really is a suggestion to my students to start experimenting and learning. Yes, they can learn all the technical stuff a bit later on, but for the time being, this will give them a chance to get into it. And once you've done it all, you can export it as an audio file and actually have a pretty good playback as something to give a client a good example of what it's going to sound like. Now, if you want to hear the original piano piece in its entirety, there is already a video on my site. Jill Morton, fantastic pianist, is actually playing that, and I will be adding a video also of the complete orchestration of that piece. But for now, I just wanted to give you an idea of how you can approach and learn this. Thank you very much for listening. Please, if you feel so inclined, do press the subscribe button. It would be great to have you aboard. Many thanks.